Hello and welcome to another video, and in this video we're going to look at factorising expressions. So I've got three worked examples that I'm going to go through with you to go through the process on how to factorise, and then I'm going to give you a bunch of questions to give yourself a bit of practice on this topic. So first of all, what do we mean by factorising? Well, factorising is just taking out a common factor. So if we look at the first example, we've got 3y plus 15. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find the highest common factor of both terms, and then I can factor that out from the expression. So what is the highest common factor of 3y and 15? Well, let's think about the numbers first. The highest common factor of 3 and 15, well, that's just going to be 3. Both of these terms are divisible by 3. And now if we think about the letters, well, we've got a y over here, but we don't have any y's in this term, so we can't factor out any letters. So the only thing we can factor out is a 3. So what we do is we factor out a 3 from the expression, and let's just put our brackets in. And now what we do is we divide each of these terms by 3. So I'm going to divide the 3y by 3, and I'm also going to divide the 15 by 3. So what is 3y divided by 3? Well, the 3's cancel. All I'm going to be left with is y. And then I've got plus. And then I do 15 divided by 3, which is 5. So my final answer is 3 outside the brackets. And then inside the brackets, we've got y plus 5. And the cool thing about this is I can check my answer by just doing the reverse, which is expanding brackets. So I've done a few videos on this, and I've got a playlist dedicated to expanding brackets, which I highly recommend you visit. But if we expand the brackets, if we do it correctly, we should be left with our original question. So let's expand these brackets. 3 times y, well, that will give me 3y. And then 3 times 5, well, that's positive 15. And lo and behold, it's exactly the same as what I started with. So I know that this here is the correct answer. Okay, let's go through the second example. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to work out the highest common factor of these two terms. So notice they are both divisible by 10. I can divide both of these numbers by 10, but that's not going to be the highest common factor. I can also divide these two numbers by 20. So my highest common factor is 20, and again I can't factor out any letters because I've got x over here, but I don't have any x's over here. So the only thing I can factor out is 20. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 20 outside of my brackets, and then I'm going to divide each of these terms by 20. So 100x divided by 20 and 40 divided by 20. So 100x divided by 20, well, we're going to be left with 5x, because 100 divided by 20 is 5, and then we've just got the x. And then we've got minus 40 divided by 20 is 2. So that is my final answer, and I will let you expand the brackets if you like, just to check that we've got the correct answer. And the last one, we've got 18 plus 12z. So we're going to first of all find the highest common factor of these two terms. And they both divide by 6. And again, we've only got one variable over here, so we can only divide by 6. So let's factor 6 out of our expression. And I'm going to divide both terms by 6. So 18 divided by 6 will give me 3. And then we're going to add on 12z divided by 6. Well, 12 divided by 6 is 2. And then we've just got the z. So I've got 6. And then in my brackets, 3 plus 2z. So that will be my final answer. So now I'm going to give you some questions to have a go at. Okay, it's over to you. So pause the video and see if you can factorise these 9 expressions. Okay, I'm assuming you've paused the video and had a go. So let's go through the answers. So the first one, 4x plus 6. Let's first of all work out the highest common factor of these two terms. And the highest common factor is 2. So we're going to divide both of these terms by 2. So 2 is going to be outside our brackets. And then inside our brackets, we're just going to do 4x divided by 2, which is 2x. And then we're going to add on 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So this here is my final answer. Okay, question 2. We're going to do the same thing. So the highest common factor of 9y and 12. Well, both of these terms are divisible by 3, so that is my highest common factor. So I'm going to take the 3 outside the brackets, and then inside the brackets, I'm going to divide everything by 3. So 9y divided by 3 is 3y. And then we're going to subtract 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Okay, question 3. The highest common factor of 6x and 3, well, that's going to be 3 again. So we've got both of these questions have a highest common factor of 3. So the 3 is outside the brackets. And then inside the brackets, we're going to divide everything by 3. So 6x divided by 3 is 2x. And then we're going to subtract 3 divided by 3, which is just 1. Okay, let's choose a different colour. I'm going to choose fuchsia this time for questions 4 to 6. So the highest common factor of these two terms, well, both of these terms are divisible by 8. So that is going to be my highest common factor. So let's factor out an 8. So 8w divided by 8 and 24 divided by 8. Or 8w divided by 8 is just w because the 8's cancel out. And then 24 divided by 8 is 3. So this is my answer. And let's just make our final bracket a bit closer because it is sticking out a bit. There we go. Okay, question 5. So the highest common factor. Both of these terms are divisible by 10. So we're going to factor out a 10 and then put our brackets in. So we've got, first of all, we're going to do 20y divided by 10. Well, that's just going to be 2y. And we're going to subtract 30 divided by 10, which is 3. So hopefully you're getting the hang of this. So question 6. The highest common factor of these two terms. Now, this is a bit trickier, but both of these terms are divisible by 15. So if you did say 5, you would be correct. 5 is a factor of both of these terms, but you're always looking for the highest common factor. So the highest common factor is 15. So let's factor out a 15 from our expression. And let's divide both terms by 15. 45 divided by 15 is 3. Plus 60x divided by 15, that's going to be 4x. So this here is our final answer. Now I think I'm going to pick blue. So for this last set of questions. So the highest common factor of 6x and 9y. Again, this time we've got variables in both terms, but they're different. So we still can't factor out a letter, but we can factor out a 3. Both of these terms are divisible by 3. So let's divide both of these terms by 3. 6x divided by 3 is 2x. And then 9y divided by 3 is 3y. So this is my final answer. The next one, we need to find the highest common factor of these two terms. Both of these terms are divisible by 5. So that's what we're going to factor out. So we've got 5 outside our brackets. Divide by 5, divide by 5. 25y divided by 5 is 5y. Subtract 35z divided by 5 is 7z. And last but not least, question 9. This time we've actually got 3 terms, but the process is the same. But this time we need to find the highest common factor of each of all 3 terms. So what is the highest common factor of all of these terms? Well, I can see straight away that they're even. So we could factor out a 2, but are there any higher factors? Well, 4, would 4 work? Well, I don't think 4 is a factor of 42, so that's not going to work. 6 is a factor of 42, but it's not a factor of 28. 7 is a factor of 42. 7 is also a factor of 28. And 7 is a factor of 56. So I think it's going to be 7. I don't think there's anything bigger than 7. 14. Would 14 work? Because I can see that both of these are... 28 is divisible by 14. 42, is that divisible by 14? Yes, it is. 14 times 3 is 42. And I can see that 56 divided by 4 is 14. So actually the highest common factor is 14. Took me a while to get that, but we can factor out a 14 from this expression. If you did get 14, well done. And now we just need to divide everything by 14. So all 3 terms. So 42 divided by 14, I said was 3. So it's going to be 3y. plus 28x divided by 14, that's going to be 2x, subtract 56 c divided by 14, well, that's going to be 4c. I think that's right, yeah, because half of 56 is 28. So if we half it again, that's essentially divided by 4. So this would be my final answer. So again, if you did divide by something like 2, okay, you would have a different answer, but that wouldn't be fully factorised. It would be factorised. So you have factorised it, but you haven't factorised it fully. And whenever you get a question in an exam where you're asked to factorise, most of the time it will say factorise fully. So it's really important to find the highest common factor, not just any factor. Okay, so hopefully you got on well with those questions, and hopefully this was useful in helping you understand the process of how to factorise expressions. In the next video, we're going to take this a step further, and we're going to look at factorising quadratic expressions. So instead of just something like 4x, you might have 4x squared. So that's what we're going to look at in the next video. So hopefully you'll join me for that. And thank you again for watching. Take care.